I guess it's going to take a company that is not any of these companies to really solve that problem. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Baritone Obsessed. This is a show all about guitars that are a whole bunch longer. We're going a whole bunch lower. The 2021 6-string baritone roundup. We've got 27 models to choose from this year. This is the largest selection ever. If you're new to the roundup, these are production guitars from 27.5 inches in scale all the way to 33 inches in scale. The tuning range that we talk about here is low A1 all the way down to low E1 or even low D1. Normally we do a bunch of motion graphics for these videos, but a lot of the manufacturers do not offer good images of their products. So message to the manufacturers, make your stuff shareable. Make it easier to spread. Just a little tip there. Huge thanks to everybody with us over at Patreon and YouTube memberships. They are the people who produced this episode and many others. If you'd like to get involved in producing future episodes and future music, you can do so in the links down in the description. Some of the important details of the roundup are the recommended tuning ranges. This refers to the lowest tunings in which the instruments still work well. Yeah, I know. There's a ton of you who do not care about the guitar working decently. You just want your max brutals. That is totally cool. This list is for people who care about good performing instruments. And that's all we talk about. If a guitar is not in the list, its availability cannot be confirmed. It is discontinued or it's too short. Additionally, this list does not include custom, semi-custom, or pre-order guitars. These are production buy now guitars only. We do not talk about that other stuff. We'll have another video for that stuff. You can follow along via my website, www.thebun.ca, the bun with 2 N's. This whole list is up there and you'll be able to go back to it whenever you want. To kick it off, we've got the Eastwood Jeff Sen signature model. It is 27.5 inches in scale. Left-handed model is available, comes loaded with passive humbuckers and a vintage tremolo. Lowest recommended tuning is A1 standard to drop G1. Next up, we've got the Eastwood Side Jack baritone. It is 27.5 inches in scale as well. It lists as 28, but it is not. It is 27.5. I don't know why they don't fix the typo. Lefties are available, P90 passive pickups. Fixed bridge or tremolo versions are available. The tremolos, actually a really nice touch, is roller bridges. Sidejack comes in a bunch of colors, as well as maple or rosewood necks. Lowest recommended tuning, A1 standard to drop G1. I've used this guitar a bunch. I've got some videos on it. Check it out. Eastwood again, the Eastwood MRG semi-hollow baritone, 27.5 inches in scale. Again, left-handed model is available, passive humbuckers, 2 colors to choose from. Lowest recommended tuning is A1 standard to drop G1. Moving along, we've got the LSL Barabone signature model. It is also a 27.5 inch scale guitar. Comes loaded with passive humbuckers. Lowest recommended tuning is A1 standard to drop G1. Finally, getting a little longer, the Paul Reed Smith SE277. This is 27.75 inches in scale. Passive humbuckers. Lowest recommended tuning is A1 standard to drop G1. I've used this guitar a bunch, and I own a Mashak. Very, very similar. A little longer still, the Chapman ML1 modern baritone, 28 inches in scale, passive humbuckers, multiple colors to choose from. Lowest recommended tuning is G1 standard to drop F1. I've used this guitar a bunch, I've owned it. You can check the video out down below. The Chapman ML3B, a baritone signature model, 28 inches in scale. Again, you've got 2 versions to choose from, as well as multiple colors. Lowest recommended tuning is G1 standard to drop F1. I've played this guitar, it's pretty nice. The Hagstrom Viking baritone, 28 inches in scale, semi-hollow construction, passive humbucker in the bridge, multiple finishes. Lowest recommended tuning is G1 standard to drop F1. I've played this guitar, I really want one. Ibanez Iron Label RGIB 21, 28 inches in scale, active humbuckers. Lowest recommended tuning is G1 standard to drop F1. I've used this guitar a bunch, I own one. There's a video down below. The Revolta Mandata baritone, 28 inches in scale, left-handed model available, passive humbuckers, multiple finishes available. Lowest recommended tuning is G1 standard to drop F1. The Reverend PA Eastsider baritone signature model, 28.625 inches in scale, comes with a trem, passive single coil pickups. Lowest recommended tuning is G1 standard to drop F1. The Music Man Silhouette Bass Guitar, 29.625 inches in scale, passive humbucker, finishes TBA. They don't seem to have the old finishes or the new finishes sorted out. Lowest recommended tuning is drop F1 to F1 standard. I've played this guitar, I quite like it, I kind of want one. It's expensive. The Dan Electro 56 baritone, 29.75 inches in scale, left-handed model is available. Lipstick single coil pickups. Different sound, nice sound, lots of noise, watch out. Multiple finishes available. Lowest recommended tuning is drop F1 to F1 standard. I've used this guitar a bunch. You can check out the videos down below. The Dan Electro Vintage Baritone, 29.75 inches in scale. Left-handed model is available. Lipstick single coils and multiple finishes. Lowest recommended tuning is drop F1 to F1 standard. I've used this Dano a bunch. This and the 56 are essentially the same guitar. They just look a little different, but same guitar. The Dan Electro 66BT Baritone, 29.75 inches in scale. Lipstick humbucker. Multiple finishes available and comes with a trem, only a trem version of this guitar. Lowest recommended tuning is drop F1 to F1 standard. I've played this guitar a little bit. I'm not sure about it. The Gretsch Jet Baritone with a tremolo with a Bigsby, 29.75 inches in scale, mini hums, 2 finishes available. Lowest recommended tuning is drop F1 to F1 standard. I own this guitar, I've used this guitar a bunch, videos are down below. The Gretsch Jet Baritone Fixed Bridge Edition, 29.75 inches in scale as well, mini humbuckers, 3 finishes available. Lowest recommended tuning is drop F1 to F1 standard. I've played this guitar as well. It plays like the trem version, just no trem. The Aria Jet B-Tone, 30 inches in scale, comes with a trem, humbucker in the bridge. Available in 2 finishes, the lowest recommended tuning is F1 to E1 standard. Burns SSJ Jazz 6, 30 inches in scale, comes with a trem and passive single coils, multiple finishes available. Lowest recommended tuning is drop F1 to E1 standard. Eastwood Hooky 6 signature model, 30 inches in scale, passive humbucker, multiple finishes available. Lowest recommended tuning, drop F1 to E1 standard. Eastwood Sidejack 6, 30 inches in scale, left-handed model available. Roller Trem Bridge, passive P90s, 2 finishes available. Lowest recommended tuning is drop F1 to E1 standard. Fender Squier Bass 6, 30 inches in scale, the trem with the bridge saddles that the strings always fall off of. Great design. Multiple finishes available. Lowest recommended tuning is F1 to E1 standard. I've played this guitar a bunch and yeah, the bridge really needs changing to be a useful guitar. The Harley Benton Guitar Bass VS Vintage, 30 inches in scale, passive single coils, lowest recommended tuning F1 to E1 standard. The Revelation Bass 6, 30 inches in scale, left-handed model available, comes with a trem and passive single coils, multiple finishes available. Lowest recommended tuning is F1 to E1 standard. The Schecter Hellraiser C6, 30 inches in scale, left-handed model available, active humbuckers, lowest recommended tuning F1 to E1 standard. The Sub-Zero Rogue 6 baritone, 30 inches in scale, passive humbuckers and 2 finishes available. Lowest recommended tuning is F1 to E1 standard. And to close off, we've got the Seed Kotetsu 33-inch scale baritone. It's got a passive humbucker in the bridge as well as some other crazy pickups. Comes with a Floyd Rose trem, multiple finishes. Lowest recommended tuning is E1 standard to D1 standard. I've been doing these baritone roundups starting in blog format back in 2014 and then eventually video format the last bunch of years. My big takeaway still is that the guitar manufacturing world really has no idea what the modern baritone players want. All that said, this is the best year ever for baritones. Definitely super thankful that we have some options. The big thing is the people who run the companies and make the guitars, design the guitars, they don't play this stuff. They don't do this stuff. They don't care. So I guess it's gonna take a company that is not any of these companies to really solve that problem. Thanks again to everybody with me over at Patreon and YouTube memberships. They are the people who produced this episode and many others. Huge thanks to them. If you'd like to get involved in other ways, you can do it through music, merch, and creative assets. Would love to know what models you already have, what you have your eyes on, what you use it all for. Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you in the next one.